Hey folks, so today we're going to learn how to use the templates that are available on simmonsclassroom.com. Some of the templates that we have posted right now are some weekly plan templates or parent communication templates from across the district. So let's just walk through how to view them and then how to use them for yourself. So first off, at the top, the table of contents will direct you to where you would like to go. So if you're at any of these schools, then you can click through and go right to that section. Each of the templates that you see here, there's a heading that tells you what the template is used for, who it's created by, because not all of them were created by myself, and then also what format they are in, so that way you can make a choice based on what format you would like to be in. So let's start with this top one. These are both very similar, and the Google Slide templates all work the same way. So for this template, if you wanted to see what it looks like, then you can click through and see what some example slides are, and there are some additional templates in this deck as well. And then same with this one, you can click through and see what the different templates look like as well. Now when you come down to the Google document ones, then you can see the Google Doc here, and then you can scroll through and view what it would look like within this window, and so on and so forth. So any of the templates that you see here that you would like to use, click on the link underneath the preview, and that will create a copy of the template for yourself. So when you click on it, it's going to reach here, and then you can just say make a copy. And this will automatically create your own copy. It won't be one that I own, so you have full ownership and editing access to it. And so from here, basically how you use any of the templates for Google Slides, and each template is going to offer slightly different things depending on the needs of the teacher. But when you're in the Allied Arts template, for example, when you come up to the left-hand corner, and normally you would just click the New Slide button, but if you click the drop-down arrow, then you will see that there's a couple different plans or slide layouts that you can choose from. So if you wanted to create a new slide, then you would choose green, white, weekly plan, and this populates up the deck for you. And the idea is that you would then fill in what week you're doing it for, what is your learning target, okay, so probably copy down the code, although you can change the format to be smaller in order to fit a longer span of text into it. And then wherever it says click to add text, you're going to add in what your plan is. And so we have one cell for in-person and one cell for remote, for green and for white days, okay? And then the same thing would apply for the other layout that we have, which is for 1 week. So if you click on the new layout, it's the weekly plan instead, so not paying attention to green, white days. And so again, you would just add your week number or your week date, your learning target, and then fill in what your plan is for each of the cells. Now, the nice thing about using a Google Slide deck, and the reason that I prefer this for weekly planning like this, is that as long as you're up here on the top deck or on the top slide, whenever you create a new template, it will automatically put it next in the deck. So you have a chronological sequence of everything you've done in your class. So if a student misses 1 week, or if a parent wants to look back and see what they did in previous weeks, then they would easily be able to do that. And it makes it a lot easier than doing it within a Google Slide. Not to say that you can't do that, because obviously there are other options for doing so. So if I were to close this window and come back into the templates, I'll just walk you through this one because there's a lot more within this template. And the high school template is very similar to this one, minus the clan structure, obviously. But the same thing applies here. The only real difference on this one, beyond having a few more templates that you can choose from, or layouts that you can choose from, the other piece here is that because it is geared towards clans, you can use the drop down to get a slide divider. So I've built in a a weekly divider for single subject slides. And basically what that means is that if you are doing this as a team approach, or if you're a high school teacher and you were gearing it towards one page per block, then you can use the weekly divider slide to break up those 4 or 5 classes or slides and add a natural divider. And you can see that here. So if the 4 teachers, for example, ELA, social studies, science, etc., had each a different slide, then I would use the slide divider in order to break it up and make it more visually obvious that that was the week that you were covered after it. So this just shows you the more intensive templates that we have within the other slide decks. And so this is including your standard in the first column, and then your 2 in-person and your 2 independent days, as well as what you're doing on your online Fridays. And then this one is very similar, your date, your standard, and then what your learning target is per day, and what your lesson is, and then what are the activities. So that's how you use the Google Slide templates. And in terms of the Google Doc templates, a lot of those were created by Kate Dumont, who's an instructional coach at the high school. And so when you click on the create a copy, then it does the same thing. It lets you create your own copy of the template and then load it here. And so this is the same thing that we just saw in the Google Slide deck, but done in a Google Doc format if you would prefer. And in terms of how you can reuse them, what I would basically do is copy this chart and then paste it again. So if I liked this one, then I could copy the whole thing and then just paste it in and make modifications for the following week. What I do recommend doing is including a date span underneath each one. So this might be August 27th, 2020. And then perhaps you might want to break down that it's your block 1 if you're doing all of your plans on the same thing. The nice part, again, much like with the slide deck, this is going to be more of a historical document by doing it this way. So you won't have 47 gazillion copies of this document, a new one for every day. You would have one master document that you could easily share with parents or students, and then everyone would know what you're doing. So that's how you use the templates. If you want to customize them or have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And thanks so much.